Okay, the first question is, what is the difference between environmental justice and ecological justice? Um, Environmental justice is more human-centered, and it is the communities impacted by pollution and contamination, to where ecological justice is supporting efforts to protect vulnerable human populations and to equitably distribute the positive goods of the natural world for benefit of human beings. Um, Ecological justice is also about how we as humans treat the earth. Um, Second question is, describe social work's grand challenge related to the environment and what are your reactions to this grand challenge. The grand challenge related to the environment is that they are, from what I saw, is that they're trying to create a social response to a changing environment. So trying to educate people on what the environment will look like in 5 to 10 years and how it will affect them, because the more that you educate, then the more people will want to do something about it. My reaction to the Grand Challenge, I thought the Grand Challenge was very interesting because they're recognizing very big problems, not just environmental problems, but also, for another example, racial issues, and trying to find solutions piece by piece. I think the Grand Challenge is looking at problems that are worldwide, and so they are getting people from all over the world to um, not only educate other people about these issues, but also advocate and do something about these issues. And because they're worldwide, it's better that not just trying to eradicate these issues in one area, but in all areas. Um, the third question: what are 3 pieces of information you learned about the topic of environmental justice and ecological justice? So, environmental injustice is the disproportional exposure of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic and poor communities to unfavorable environmental conditions. Um, Little or no help is being given to the individuals living close to the facilities that are toxic to them. So, if you live in a community and a facility is toxic and you're beginning to have health issues, it seems like, from what I've read, that the facilities have no liability in that. Um, Environmental, how I had stated before, is more human centered. And then the fight for environmental justice started in 1982 in Warren County, North Carolina. Ecological justice is not just about humans, but also about the earth and animals. It refers to how nature and animals can affect us, also in how we affect them. So how we treat nature and animals is ultimately going to affect us. And then also advocating for people to be educated on how big the issue of ecological justice is. Um, and then the last question: how might environmental justice or ecological justice impact the residential community you selected for the thinking critically about community assignment? So I chose the homeless, not the human, the homeless population in downtown Louisville. The only thing that I could think of that would affect them environmentally would be that the homeless population, not only in downtown Louisville, but probably everywhere, are susceptible to illness and death from climate change. I can also say that because there's so many homeless in downtown Louisville and in a lot of areas, they're not like throwing away their trash, and they could just be pouring out whatever liquids they have. Ultimately, that can affect the earth. So those are the only two things that I can think of, that how the homeless population is affected and how they affect the earth.